Well, you know what, Sam? I've been alluding to this all week about the Timberwolves. We've hit on it a little bit, but we couldn't really dive into it. We're going to dive into it today. And here's where I go with the Timberwolves, Sam. And I kept saying this. I kept saying, this is on the record. I kept saying there's something that they're not doing. And maybe I did say it. I don't know. This week, this break, Christmas break, seems like it didn't stop because it kept snowing. It snowed again last night. Like I woke up and I'm like, what is going on? Why is there still little snowdrops on the street? But anyway, I feel like I don't know if I should cover this or not, but I'm going to go in depth. Anthony Edwards is averaging his career high in points, rebounds, and assists. Is this the result of Cat being out? I don't care if Cat's out or in. Here's where I go with that in the playoffs and them even trying to find a way back up. Or do they just tank and go get Victor? When you think about the Timberwolves and who they are as a team, and I said this to you, Sam, or I kind of alluded to this.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards has to be that guy. Every team that has won championships have found that guy. You look at Kobe Bryant. You look at Michael Jordan. And Damian Lillard, again, the Trailblazers didn't win anything, but they have won some games. They have gotten to the playoffs, had some big playoff moments. Damian Lillard's the reason. You look at Steph Curry. You look at Kevin Durant. You have to have a guy that's willing to say, screw this. You look at Kyrie Irving. Even when he had LeBron. You look at LeBron when he was with D-Wade. Even though you have another superstar, and that's where I think Anthony Edwards has to learn. I got a superstar with me in Cat. I got a big name in Rudy Gobert, but I need to be the guy. And that's what I think is missing. Donovan Edwards was that guy for Rudy Gobert. So Rudy Gobert didn't have any pressure. We put too much pressure on Rudy Gobert. He's not a pressure player. And so when you look at this, what is your thoughts on Anthony Edwards and what's been going on with Cat being out, with Rudy Gobert, him having to play the Donovan Mitchell to Rudy Gobert's Gobert? I'll start with you, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, we all bang the table. We want to see Ant take that next step into this kind of superstardom territory this season. But I don't know if it ever was going to happen with Cat on the floor at the same time. Too many cooks in the kitchen from everything. When I sat down and watched these two play together, I think Cat being on the court was always going to kind of limit his ability to be the leader, be the guy to put the team on his back and take over games, have that pressure of, I got to get Cat the ball. And it's not Cat's fault by any means. I'm not saying it was like a conscious or malicious endeavor by any means, but you got to remember, ever since Ant has been here, he's played second fiddle to Cat. And sometimes if you want a guy to flourish and take this next big step, you need addition by subtraction. And in this case, I think it was obvious Ant needed the opportunity for once to be the unquestioned guy for a long period of time, a long stretch, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, like we've seen on the court, who everyone looked at in this case and said, this is our leader. Show us the way. We believe in you. And as long as Cat was on the court, I just don't think he would have ever had that freedom to be himself and be willing to take over games, even if it meant failing every now and then. That's the growing process, but that's how you get there too. Because when you go out and fail, with the ball in your hands and you have Cat on the floor staring back at you, I think there's always going to be that guilt factor of, I shouldn't have been so selfish tonight. I should have given Cat some of those opportunities I was taking. But if you want to be the guy, you got to get selfish. And I think with the raw talent Ant possesses that we've all seen, I think everyone around him said, look, now's the time to be selfish, grow as a leader, and grow into what we all thought and hoped you could be when you got here, while Cat's not here for this little stretch of, a month and a half.
Yeah, what I think we're seeing is Anthony Edwards is taking on some of the role that D'Angelo Russell had last year. D'Angelo Russell's minutes are actually increased this year, but his points are down, his assists are down, his rebounds are down. Like he's down where Ant is up. And I think that is Ant asserting himself. Here's another key thing, guys. I think in the past we've seen Ant waffle between, am I a creator or am I a scorer? And he had a hard time doing both simultaneously. Look at his entire season last year, playoffs included. He had 12 games with 25 points or more, 5 assists or more. 12. This year, through 39 games, half the season, 12 games of that nature. So he's probably going to double that this year, where he's got 25 points, 5 assists. He's figuring it out how to impact the game in multiple ways. He's being more assertive. He's being more on ball. I think that Ant is actually making that leap in his development, and I pray that it continues when Cat comes back, which could be very soon. And guys, I'm eyeing a 500 record. I think the Wolves can get there the next 3 games against the Clippers, Rockets, and Pistons. If they win them all, I think they're back to 500, and then maybe you can kind of breathe a sigh of relief at the halfway point and move forward from there.
I just breathe a sigh of relief. So here's where I go with this. And again, I said it, and I'm not going to harp on it too much longer because I've said it. He has to be the guy. Like, he always has to be the guy. I think, yes, this ball he's playing now is definitely a result of Cat, because he doesn't feel like he needs to defer to anybody. He doesn't feel like he has to get somebody the ball. They're going to be pissed off. I'm a big body language guy, because I even pick it up when I play pickup ball. And if I'm going, because I mean, come on, I can score. And I mean, I've scored to the point where, like, last week, I think I had a guy like get mad. He wasn't on my team. He was on the other team. He tried to say, one, I was dribbling too much. It's about 5-second count. So I started doing the actual college, like, dribble and then back up, dribble and then back up. Like, dude, like, what do you expect out of me? And so I'm backing up on it. I'm dribbling, then I back up, because I'm like, hey, if I need to back up, I'm fine with that. I can do that if that's going to help you out to not say it's 5 seconds. Then he goes with the, hey, nobody's here to watch Penn State. It's not you versus Penn State anymore. I'm like, what? We're playing like, you're talking about 1999 and we're playing basketball 2022. Which, one, clearly that Penn State game stuck in your mind because you're still bringing it up in the basketball scenario.
Rent-free in his head.
Yeah. But and this is where I go with that. When you think about basketball, you have to have that guy. You have to have the guy that everybody's watching. And even if you have, and when I say body language, when I'm doing that, I can look around and see. If I see a guy kind of putting his head down, I'm going to kick the ball to him, because I'm going to be like, look, stay in the game. Here, see what you do. If you miss and we lose, I can blame you. And then I'm going to come back the next game and tell you, like, dude, let me just go. Let me cook. When you're open, I'll get it to you. But if a guy's on me one-on-one, he can't guard me. And that's the problem where Anthony Edwards needs to be. If he has a big on him, take him. Like, every time I see a big on him, he defers sometimes to the pull-up versus just taking him and using the speed. When he has a little guy on him, his legs, like, this dude has some big, strong calves. Back him down. Like, play bully ball. Watch LeBron and some of these guys when they get a mouse in the house. They're backing him down. So I think as time goes, he'll get going. But I also think Chris Finch needs to work on his small ball lineup a little bit more, where Rudy and Cat are both out, even if they're healthy. And you see what you can get out of a fast-paced Warriors type of look, where Jalen Noel becomes your, just another guy on the court with your big, it's like you don't need Gobert or Cat, because now you're just outrunning guys, and see what you get out of it. Get some shooters on the floor. That's where I wonder is, where's the shooting going to actually come from? Because the great teams, the teams that win, they can shoot. But
have you guys seen anything over these last couple games? I know they lost 5 in a row. Now they've won 2 in a row. Anything different from how Coach Finch is deploying his lineup? Any guys that are playing more, playing less, the way they're using Rudy and some different combinations? Anything you've seen changed at all for the better in the last couple games?
Well, they've been dealing with so many injuries that they've been forced to shuffle the deck. So it's hard to say what's going to stick, like what's going to be permanent. But Chris Finch did say, I think after the Denver win, he said, yeah, this gives us a chance to look at everything, to look at every permutation of who we're playing, when we're playing them. And I think it could result in some shakeups once they get everybody back healthy. I want to see Jordan McLaughlin get back and be a big part of this team. They run the offense so well when he's on the floor. And something Ron said made me remember Chris Finch in the offseason. He said he was very stubborn about this. He said, we can't let teams force us to play small. We have to play big. That's going to be our strength. I think you have to be flexible. I think you have to recognize, you look yourself in the mirror and say, we gave this half a season. I guess not even half, because we lost Cat. We tried this. It's not working. We need to explore the small ball lineup. Ron is absolutely right. You can't be stubborn. That would be stupid. You need to change. Whatever you were doing before, you need to change. And you still got half a season to right the ship.
Well, the thing I look about the roster too, and I don't really know what's going on with who's playing and why they're not playing a certain player, or why is this guy not playing. But when you look at Jaden McDaniels, you look at Kyle Anderson, who technically is their shooter. You look at Jalen Noel. They could put all those guys on the court with Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell. Like, I would love to see that. Wendell Moore Jr. doesn't play as much as I thought he would play coming out of college. Really good college player, but it does take time. Even if you're going to have one big in, I think it should be somebody like Naz Reid that can run the floor. But that's where he has to figure it out, because Rudy Gobert's not running the floor. And then you don't have Karl-Anthony Towns. And then also Austin Rivers. When you think about Austin Rivers, that was his role on teams, was just to be that guy to come in, run the floor, shoot the ball. I just feel like even his usage in that small ball lineup could be a good piece. But again, the small ball only works if you're scoring, because you're saying, I'm going to give up rebounds on the offensive rebound. I'm going to give up size underneath. I'm going to give up defensive rebounds if we miss. So you have to be able to make and score when you're going. And that's why the Warriors were so effective with theirs, because Draymond would be the center. And you got Draymond as center, you got Wiggins as the 4, and then you had Jordan Poole, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson. So at that point, they're like, look, Wiggins is not guarding your 4, so we're going to give that up. Draymond, yeah, he can bully your center, but he's going to end up in a fight because he's going to push him too much. So what are we doing? We're making threes. We're going to run around. We're going to force you guys to put to get a matchup you don't want. Because if you're center, and that's why I love how they do it, their center's guarding Draymond. Draymond is at the top. Draymond's pulling the center out. So now you have to decide how you want to handle that. And then that's why you see so many highlights of Steph Curry on Rudy Gobert, Steph Curry on Djokovic, Steph Curry on Karl-Anthony Towns. Like, they know exactly what to do. They're going to pull your big and then run that pick and roll or that play where your center has to help. Because if not, Steph Curry's far enough out where once he crosses half court, he can pull it. So I think that's where the Timberwolves have to get to. They have to find a guy consistently comfortable shooting threes and spread guys out, because that Twin Towers thing didn't work. And they didn't get a ton of time with it because Karl-Anthony Towns hurt, but they got to figure that out.